Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing Channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And today we're going to talk about a specific question, actually, a list of questions that I've received from some of you, whether it was while I was on Spirit Fest or also in passing in conversation. I've noticed that some of you have had some questions about what exactly is an Akashic clearing, and I feel like it's important for me to really dive into this so that we can understand together what exactly this is. So, if you're interested in finding out what an Akashic clearing is, then you are on the same on the right page, in the right page, in the right space, on the right channel. And I want to thank you for being here. And I want to take a moment just to ask you to take a moment to subscribe to this channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. This helps this channel be recognized by YouTube. I'm really trying to, get this family growing. So please join us. I'm so excited to have you here. So I also want to ask you to take a moment to share and like this video once you have finish watching this video. If you feel like it brings nourishment to you, then why not share this with someone that you care about. I also want to take a moment just to thank everyone who is part of the Cosmic Light Activation membership. I am so thankful for each one of you. And I'm going to put your names up here just to kind of celebrate you. And I kind of wanted to mention that if you are interested in joining the Cosmic Light Activation, it is open for everyone. And I want to take a moment just to share here the website. You can go into my website, thebloominglotushealing.com /cosmic light activation, or you can just go directly to my website and just find it on the very top, and under services or offerings, you'll see it there. And I kind of wanted to mention too that I'm also opening up the class, the Beloved Method class, starting on August 26th of 2023. The beginners class is open, and it's going to be open for about until the 18th, and after that, then I will close the opening. There's 22% off if you want to join, and that's going to be under Beloved. The code is Beloved. And so I kind of wanted to mention too that this is going to be a 6 weeks class. So there's going to be, homework, and there's going to be some work that I'm going to require from you. And the reason why is because I want to make sure that you understand what the system is, and I want to make sure that I know that you are getting the system, or at least help you. So that's the reason why homework is part of the journey here. So that is required at the end of the class for you to be able to receive the certification. So I kind of wanted to say that. And so if you are interested, you can go into the bloominglotushealing.com /the beloved method, and that's it. So okay, well, let's dive into the conversation of the Akashic Record clearings. And I kind of wanted to just to take a moment just to dive into what are the Akashic records, right? Because um in order for you to understand, maybe you don't know what the Akashic records are. This is your first time, or you're kind of curious, you're finding out about this information. And a lot of people, as they're going through their spiritual awakening, they are guided to the Akashic records. And I've gotten downloads. Actually, I just got some downloads in regards to this. I was doing some automatic writing, and I was receiving some downloads in regards to why we need to work with the Akashic records, and why this is becoming something so widely known, especially by those of you who are seeking, who are going through their spiritual awakening. I personally went through that journey as well. As I was going through my spiritual awakening, I also was exposed to the Akashic records, and I was kind of curious, and I was like, what is this? What is this? Until I was exposed to a book by Linda Howe, and that was what opened my awareness. And then I've been deepening the awareness of it through the work that I do every day with my clients. So I'm going to share with you something that was shared with me today, just right now, while I was doing this automatic writing. Spirit was basically sharing with me that the Akashic records are a library of information that is stored in the etheric field. and it's stored in a form of energy and energetic information. So this is all energy and energetic information. And the best way that we can compare it to something on this earth is to sort of think about it as a cloud system. So think about it as if there was a cloud where all of your soul's data is stored. And this place of storage of the soul data is the I was kind of being shown what it looked like, and it was kind of these crystallized portals that kind of are like opening with each other, and there's like these highway of crystallized energy that is coming through on each one of them. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's the best way that I can describe it. It's just kind of like these like little portals that are kind of connecting with each other, and all of them are in a way like there's protection and there's highway of information. There's everything's kind of like stored in these little lines, crystallized lines. That's the best way or tubes. That's the best way that I can describe it. And this information is basically storing everything that exists in this universe. Okay. So everything that is there in the universe, it's basically there on the records. So you're probably, if you've ever heard of Akashic readers such as Debbie Solaris, for example, which she is much more of an Akashic historian. She's tapping into the records for that purpose, right? So, like I've mentioned before, everyone's going to tap into the records for different reasons. So, so you're going to tap into it for specific things, and everything that you need is basically there. And so there's going to be also many levels that and reasons, right, that that you're going to access the records. So some people are going to access the records just for themselves. Some people are going to access the records for helping humanity. Some people are going to access the records to help one-on-one people, like one-on-one clients, such as what I'm doing. Some people will access the records to do readings, to support people. Some people will access the records for healing and for clearing, such as what I've been doing. And so there's going to be all these different aspects and reasons why we're going to access the records. And so this is going to depend in your this is basically depending on your own connection to them, and specific contracts that you have on this planet with the relationship with records. We kind of have like also like contracts that are kind of set in relationship to how we're going to access. But everyone that gets called to connect to the records in some shape or form, you're getting called for a reason. So just trust that if you're getting called to connect to the records, is because that is your higher self kind of guiding you into that space. And so it's important to also recognize. So one of the things um, that I wanted to mention here is that um, the the records are basically there to kind of give us a karmic accountability. And so accountability is actually something that is important on this planet, but everywhere, really, as a soul, but especially on this planet, the accountability of our karmic entanglements, and also the process of self mastery, which, if you really look at, for example, teachers such as Jesus or teachers such as Buddha, there was an element of self mastery that was there. So when we look at the reason why the records are really there to kind of help us, right, to access the information and the codes from past lives, so that we can learn and even clear the things that don't serve us, so that we can continue to actualize ourselves and continue to express that accountability and shift our vibration and our actions into alignment with our soul. And so one of the things that another thing that I wanted to mention too is that this planet, so one of the things that Spirit was saying is that this planet is meant to be a heart-based planet. And the lesson here on earth is to learn how not to only connect to our hearts, but also how to learn how to operate from it on an everyday basis, on a daily basis, which, if you think about it, is kind of hard to do, right? Like when we really look at our day-to-day life, we may have someone that cuts us off on the highway, and we might be like, darn you, and and like all of that, like that's it's hard to do, like on a very on a very constant way. And so it's important to recognize that, part of our self mastery is to be able to stay in that neutrality, stay in that beautiful, loving space, which, hey, I haven't been able to achieve yet. But that's the message that is coming through here. And so it's all about continuing to refine, right, that accountability with ourselves and with spirit. So when it comes down to connecting to our hearts, we want to also understand that the how often we operate from our hearts is also recorded in the records, and determining how often and how uh you know either the lack or the abundance of operation from our heart space is going to determine how much karmic entanglement we're going to be dealing with. So, for example, if we are operating out of our heart space and we're operating more on a lower vibration, then we're going to make decisions and operate from a place or even speak with each other or to each other or to ourselves from a lower vibration. And in turn, bringing some of that discordance into our everyday lives, and in turn, bringing in that karmic entanglement into our life. And so, all of this and that's the reason why that accountability is there, that constant writing of every deed that we do, because that allows us to kind of be able to pinpoint later on, or even within that time frame, within this timeline, or time or lifetime, is going to help us determine, oh wow, like this is, I wasn't operating from the heart space, let me go ahead and shift this. So that's where the records really help us, right, to do that. Now, it's obviously it's a little easier for us to remember when we haven't operated from our heart space, when we are here and now on this earth, on this lifetime. So it's a little easier for us to kind of uh, bring accountability and shifting, right, and our actions, or repair those actions that we've done on this lifetime, because we're all, it's fresh. So the records, where they bring a lot of benefit is for those moments where, of course, we don't have access, we don't have the memory. It would be hard to have the memory of all lifetimes. So then, because we go into the records to access those lifetimes, then we're able to repair and reconcile, right, those energetic and karmic entanglements. So another thing that I thought was really interesting, spirit just recently revealed something to me, and it showed me that when we incarnate on this planet, and I feel spirit wants to tell us this because it wants us to help us understand. I've always received this I've always been with this question, like, why, if we are love, why is it so hard for humans to operate from a place of love and compassion? Why is it so hard for us? And so today, spirit was actually showing me this really interesting thing that happens when we incarnate here on this planet. When we incarnate here, we are actually leaving behind, and it's not like we're leaving it behind. So I want to be very careful in the way I say this, because it's still there. We're still connected to it, but it's a little thinner. It's a little, like, a very thin line of etheric connection to our light. So we bring in 10% of our light. So we are actually 10% light on the when we are embodied on our body. And the reason why, some of the things that spirit showed me was, the our body's only able to hold just a certain amount of light before it just collapses. So because it's just so high vibrational, it's just too much for the body, for the physical body. So that 10% is just enough to be able to gather the other 90% from the 5D. So in the fifth dimension is where we access that light, and that's what we call our higher self, which I thought that was very cool. And that's basically our soul. Basically, our soul is the light, right? And so just know that that 10% is what is now in your body, the 10% of your light, and the other 90% is what you access when you connect to your records and connect to your higher self. You're accessing that 90% of your light. And this is important to know, because this is the reason why sometimes it's a little harder for us to operate from our heart space. This is what makes it harder, is because we have a lower percentage of of that energy, right, of that light energy, in this embodiment. So it's easier for us to fall into the denser energies because of that. However, that doesn't mean that the 10% is not strong enough. It is, and that's the reason why you see people that are able to overcome certain situations in their lives. They're able to move forward in their lives. Why? Because that 10% is very powerful. So 100% is extremely powerful. So that 10% is more powerful than you can imagine. So just know that, even though that the percentage seem like, oh my gosh, it's low, know that 10% is very, very powerful and capable of bringing a lot of resilience and strength into your everyday life. So as you when you tap into that 10%, you're tapping into the other 90, just so you know. So one of the things that Spirit was mentioning is, as we connect to our chakra, our heart chakra, we're connecting to that 90%. So it's important. That's why it's so important to keep our hearts open and keep our heart chakras open, because that 90% is there all the time. So there it is, available for you 100%, all the time. So the thing is that it's going to be accessible through the heart chakra, and it's going to be in the 5D, and it's not going to be in the body, right? But it's still available to you as we, at every single moment. So anyway, so that was one thing that I thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to share in regards to so you can understand why it's so easy for us to fall into these karmic entanglements and this karma. And so one thing that I wanted to mention as well is that, if you've been following this channel, you've heard about how I say that we come in and out into our hearts, right? Like we're gonna be in and out our hearts, almost like the ocean, right? Coming in and out, and that's okay. I don't want you to ever feel less than or feel pressure to be this perfect being that is always in the heart space, because that's not really what we're meant to be doing all the time, right? Like with the idea for us to come in is for us to learn the lessons, but to always remember that we have access to our hearts. So as we go out of our hearts, remembering not to stay there, that was just the moment that we needed to be there to learn the lesson, and then come back to our heart space as soon as we remember. So that's really what this is about. Okay. This earth is about learning how to, going to go back and forth so that we can stay in that steady energy of light. And so, one thing that I wanted to mention as well is that as we master this, as we learn how to master our energetic connection to our light, then it's important to recognize that this indicates how strong of souls that we are, so that we come, this is kind of like a graduation stage for us as souls, is to come here and to really connect to, to go into that void, into that darkness, into that feeling of separation, that feeling of disconnection from God, and being able to go back and remembrance of God, right? And so just remember that in this process of going in and out, you are doing the work, right? Like even in those moments that you felt disconnected, that was part of your journey. That was part of the essence of what you were meant to be learning and embodying at that time. So bringing yourself compassion and love and acceptance of what is important as you continue to, evolve in this journey. And so I wanted to mention too that so one of the things that Spirit was saying here is that because humans have such a hard time with staying in our heart center, this planet is truly one of the hardest things to master. However, not all souls that come here are weak or meek. So that's one of the messages that Spirit wanted to say. If anything, the souls that come to this planet are one of the bravest and courageous and strongest light bearers that are there. This planet is sort of a final graduation stage of all for all of us. When we acquire self mastery here, we go back to the center of all, the samadhi, to bring back the truth of the universe back into expression. So this is the reason why accessing the Akashic Records during this time, during this specific time that we're in right now, it's an important aspect of humanity. That's why we're being called to them, to the records, to become aware of our soul's journey, to become a powerful healer, whether it is to do it for ourselves or for others, or to do it both. Because if you're doing it for others, you're doing it for yourself too, so that you can practice this in your life, right? So just so you know, the history of your soul that is revealed during a session. So let's say right now we're, you're opening your records, right? Whether it is for a reading or a clearing, whether it is with me or someone else. Just so you know, one of the things that Spirit was saying here is that the history of your soul that is revealed during a session inside the records will give you access to the codes of alignment with your soul. It is up to you to take action forward and connect to your soul's expression once you know this information. So this information is revealed to you. This sacred information is revealed to you so that you can take action and start making shifts at your consciousness, or even making shifts in your life. That is the purpose. So it is wise to recognize that the records are simply a tool to help you in the journey, and rather not a place to escape your free will and actions. So that's one thing that Spirit wanted to really mention here. That's important that we understand that the records are, it's a library, it's giving us the information, but this is not where we go to escape. We don't want to go to the records to escape. We want to go to the records to receive the information so that we can access and then take action. It's basically God's way of helping us, of giving us kind of like cheat sheets in a way, for our tasks. So, accessing the records and teaming up with the masters, teachers, angels of light, light council, lords of the records, and more can help guide us towards alignment with spirits, with our higher self. And in turn, we are elevating not only our own vibration, we elevate those around us, and we serve for the highest good of all. So when you're doing this work for yourself, you're also serving others, which is so beautiful. So reading the records is a great way to receive energy upgrades and inspiration. But when we take a but the clearings are, it's something that we do beyond the reading, right? So when we take a step further into clearing energies that bog you down, then we're able not to only seek, right, the free will alignment within ourselves. We're also fully supported by spirit. So like, as we're taking that alignment, we're like supported by spirit at the same time, because spirit is helping us release all of those karmic entanglements that keep us trapped in circles that don't serve our highest good anymore. So, what is exactly a clearing? And I kind of wanted to really break it down for you so that you understand what this is. So, the question I've gotten is, what is exactly a clearing? So, a clearing is the process of accessing the records. Okay, so it's and it's a process of accessing the records with a specific intention. Okay, and this intention is going to be probably based on a discord that is showing up in your life, some sort of issue in your life, some sort of challenge in your life that's been difficult. And what when we access the records, right, we go in and we find the energetic match, right, that is aligning with that specific intention that you're indicating. You're basically telling spirit, God, your soul, hey, I have this issue, and can you help me with this? And then spirit's going to find all of the information in regards to the energetic entanglements that are currently stored in the records, and so that we can pull those specific entanglements, and so that we're able to determine what happened. We're able to determine what program was created. We're able to determine, who was involved. We're able to determine if there was harm, or if there, kind of like what happened, and then discordant energies that were involved. We're able to find some details about that is energetically matching that issue that you're indicating. You're praying out into the records and say, this is an issue, please help. And so that we find that energetic match, and we say, okay, this is what happened, this is matching this intention, and we can tell that this is affecting you, and this affecting, and this creating this, helping in the creation of this in your life. And then we once we investigate the information, then we ask spirit, hey, please clear these energies, so that we can take actions in alignment, right? And so that we are aligned with our truth and our true expression. So the clearing is basically a reading, right? It's a reading and a healing session at the same time. So it's also a great way to connect to the information, but also to do something about it, right? To do something at the energetic level. So it takes. I always say to people, an Akashic reading is a step. as a step forward, right? So you have the reading and then you have the clearing. So the clearing is kind of both. It's like, okay, we find some information, but we also go in there and clear the energies. And so one thing that I also another question that I've received is this the same as an Akashic reading? And it sort of is the same, right, in certain ways, but it's not fully, because we are working with the energies here. And we're focusing more on the energies, and to clear the energies rather than focusing on just what happened and the details of what happened, right? So it is different in that sense. So that's what you want to keep in mind with the Akashic clearings, and the difference between that and a reading. And people always ask me, how often do I need a clearing? And so a clearing session is really going to be determined by your higher self. And it's really kind of hard for me to tell you, well, you should be clearing once a month or twice a month, or it's very hard for me to do that, because this is going to be guided by your higher self. And I don't believe in telling you how often to clear yourself, because your soul is the one that's going to determine that. And it is best for you to follow your guidance. So when you come to me, just know that if you're here watching this, or if you have been on my website, just or you're kind of feeling like you need it, then you might want to consider doing a clearing. Why? Because you're obviously inspired here for a reason. So you want to make sure that you take action when you feel ready, of course. And so one thing that I also wanted to mention too about this is that when you determine, like, once you receive a clearing for the first time, you will also have like this telltale sign, because you'll notice a shift energetically for yourself. And then you'll kind of feel also energetically a shift when things kind of get a little denser, and then you'll be like, okay, I think it's time for me to do a clearing. Some of the things that I do as well is that I do Akashic clearings for collective, for the cosmic light activation that I was mentioning earlier, and inviting you to. For that membership, we do an Akashic clearing every month, and so that's a really great way to kind of keep the energies, clear for everyone. And these are more at the collective level, but there's still help, right? Like, it helps you clear all of the stuff that we pick up throughout the month, and so that you can be more in your energy. And that actually helps us as well when we clear from the collective, because then we're able to see a little clearer if we really need a clearing, or if maybe it's just like something else that we picked up as well. So that's one of the things that I really love about doing the collective clearings as well. And so again, it's kind of hard for me to say how often you need it. So it's one of those where you want to really go within yourself and ask your guidance. You can even ask you can connect to your higher self and ask your pendulum, or you can come to me and we can check to see if you need a clearing as well. You can book a discovery call, and we can take a look and see if you need to clear something there. What should I expect during clearing? So that's something that's come up for some people, because if you've never gotten a clearing before, it's just kind of like hard to know like what to expect. So I kind of wanted to share with you what to expect during a session. So during a session with me, you're going to be first guided through a meditation, where we set the intention to connect to your higher self. And this is really just to help you connect and help you align with your higher self, help you really soften your energy so that you can really feel connected and feel the loving energy of spirit. And so that's the purpose of the meditation. And there is some healing that happens throughout the meditation as well. So that's the reason why I like to start with that, and to soften in the energy, and to really calm your energy so that you can really be open to receive. So that's one thing that you would receive, at least with me, is an opening meditation at the beginning. The next thing is that we will open your Akashic records, and I will be using a specific system that I learned, which is called spiritual response therapy. So the methodology that I use is the spiritual response therapy methodology, and then I go in and clear the programs, like kind of like how I mentioned that I go in and find out information, and then we clear all the karmic entanglements. And I do this by asking questions related to your intention. So sometimes I'll get intuitive hits from your higher self, letting me know that there's certain things at the subconscious level that need to be cleared for you, certain thoughts or certain ideas or ideologies that need to be cleared. And so like so we and then you might not be aware of, but they're there at the subconscious level. So I'll get intuitive hits. Sometimes I'll get intuitive hits in the sense of like something that happened in the past life, and then we have to clear like a certain thought process that stemmed from that lifetime. So we'll clear that. So we'll ask the questions, right? Like I'll go in there and ask the questions, and then proceed with the clearing. And then after that, we kind of after we do the clearing, and we arrange everything in the records, because we kind of go back into the records, the higher energies there, and we rearrange the records to kind of like indicate that we've done the clearing. Then spirit will apply some healing for you, and then after that, then we close your records, and that's basically it. So you may feel, energy moving. Sometimes you may feel like an emotional release as well. Sometimes you might feel maybe like a little bit of uncomfort, maybe some pain or some uncomfort at the physical. Sometimes you might get thirsty. There's so many things that can happen. So just come in prepared, and just know that everything that is happening is for your highest good. And then another question that people have asked me is, how long does it take for me to see results? So typically you might just, the turnaround is like right after the session, you feel really good, you feel like $1,000,000 energetically. But then there's also an integration process, especially in certain situations in our lives. So like if there's situational things, this may this may be released immediately, but sometimes it does take some time for it to integrate, depending on what your higher self sees fit, or your soul sees fit. And so just know that the after a clearing, you may see that integration of that clearing in your life even months after. So just keep that in mind. But typically after a clearing, you should feel some sort of relief energetically, and kind of like just like something that has been lifted out of you energetically. So at least that is an immediate thing. And then everything else just kind of like becomes kind of like a domino effect in your life as well. And so is the Akashic clearing. This is a question that I thought was really interesting. Someone asked me, is an Akashic clearing godly, or does it connect to other beings? And yes, this is connecting directly to the energy of God, the energy of our creator, the energy of the universe. So yes, this is totally connected to the energy of love. There are no other beings involved. And if there are any other beings involved, they're stepping back, and they're not involved, because we're working directly with your higher self. And your higher self is the part of you that's directly connected to spirit, to God, to the universe. So to answer that question, I know that there's a lot of stuff out there. Sometimes it can be a little scary, especially if it's your first time, especially if you're maybe coming out of maybe being very religious, and you want to try something new, and this might feel a little scary. Just know that none of the work that I do is connected to anything else but your higher self. Even when I do readings on my live streams, I connect to your higher self. I don't connect to anything else. And the reason why I do that is because, to me, it's just the cleanest way for me to receive the energy. Is direct, is exactly what you need from your soul. I don't need to get any more information. You can connect to your guides and your spirit animals. I'd rather you connect to them. But when I'm connecting, and sharing information with you, I'm always going to be connecting to your higher self. So I hope that brings a little bit of peace of mind, especially if you've been considering maybe getting a clearing, but you've been a little scared. Just know that there's nothing to be scared about. It's all about trusting and having faith, and know that you're loved and accepted as you are. And last thing, how do you know if you need a clearing? So you will know because you're probably watching this video right now, or maybe you've been feeling this nudge to tap into the records. So you've been feeling like something is heavy in your life, or something is just really difficult and not resolving. And you're here now seeking for an answer. So that, to me, leads me to believe that this is a telltale sign that you might need a clearing. So if you want to do that, I do have a special for the month of August 2023. If you book a session throughout the month of August, I am giving 22% off for all one-on-one sessions. So if you are interested, please do reach out to me at hello@thebloominglotushealing.com. Hello@thebloominglotushealing.com, so I can send you that coupon code so you can apply it. This is only going to be available until the 31st. And so if you're interested, then this is it. So since you're here all the way till the end, you get to receive that part of the message. And I hope that you take advantage of it, because why not? Why not receive some healing and at the same time save some money. And I'm doing this because I'm celebrating my second year here at the Blooming Lotus Healing, and I'm super excited, super grateful to be here to be of service to you. And I just kind of wanted to thank you. This is the end of the video. I want to thank you so much for listening, for for just being here and connecting with me. I also wanted to mention as well that that if you are interested in booking a session, you can go to the bloominglotushealing.com, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, and please make sure that you share and like this video. That supports this channel. And if you want to take a little step further and support this channel even further, then I want to invite you to go to the Cosmic Light Activation membership and sign up for that directly on my website, thebloominglotushealing.com, so that you can receive Akashic clearings every single month. I'm going to leave all of that in the description below, so that you can receive all of that. And I also wanted to mention that I will also be leaving on the description below some like a specific video about SRT and what SRT is, so that you can watch that and learn about spiritual response therapy if you're interested about spiritual response therapy, which is the system that I use to access the records, and the original system that I started using, where that inspired me to create the Beloved Method as well. So if you want to learn more about that and the roots of my of my journey, then definitely make sure that you watch that video. So thank you again. I love you all, and namaste.